Hello, little one. Hello. Come sit down. Yeah. Today, I am going to teach you some chess ideas. Isn't that cool? Yes. And this is your little space where you can learn about chess. And I'm just here to teach you. But we're not alone. Maybe you remember. Hello, I am Plato the Panda. Yes, this is Plato. Hello, Plato. And he is a friend of a great chess player called Judit Polgar. That is right. She is my home girl. That is true. And there's something that you always help Judit remember, isn't that true? Yes, it is true. I am a panda, so I am white and I am black. And on the chessboard there are light squares and dark squares. And I always help Judit remember that if your opponent is weak on the dark squares or on the light squares, maybe that is where you should attack. Yes, and the game we are going to look at today, that's not so relevant, but you will come in with a little piece of advice at some point, isn't that right? That is right. Okay, let's say hello to Judit's other friend. Alright, bye for now. That was Plato the Panda. And over here we have two other friends of Judit, the great chess player Judit. The first one, hello, is this one. This is Pandora the Puffin. Hello. And Pandora the Puffin also helps Judit remember something when she plays chess. And what is that? Well, I am a puffin, and puffins mate for life, so we are always looking for our partner. And in chess, can you please help me? Yes, you always want, if you can, to play this one out and this one out. And these are the partner pawns. And this is very good to do in chess. And we can see from this game why that is. And this is of course true both for white and for black. Exactly. So if Judit is playing with the black pieces, I am always saying that she should go here and here if she can. Okay, so that's what you are really helping Judit with. Yes, also her math homework sometimes. Okay. Well, and then there is a third friend of Judit. Maybe you already know these friends, but there is also a fourth one that you haven't met before, I'm sure. But this is the third friend. This is Octavia the Octopus. And what is special about you? Well, I have 8 arms because I am an octopus. And I use each one of these to just gently tap every one of Judit's pieces on the shoulder. Every one you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have 8 arms. And I tap every one on the shoulder and say, you have to get out of the back rank and join the game. Yes, so that is what you are always helping Judit remember. Yes, but don't forget about Deborah. Right, Deborah. So Deborah is a dragon. This is Deborah the dragon. Hello. And Deborah the dragon also helps Judit remember something. And what is that? It is to always be brave It is to attack your opponent and always try to win. Never give up. Never surrender. Yes, that is Deborah the dragon. Courage in stuffed animal form. And today, me and you are going to look at a beautiful, beautiful game that Judit played, where she used all her friends and their advice to come in and win. And you don't have to remember anything of what I tell you. No, this is not school. This is not homework. If you want to, you can. But if you just want to doze off and not pay attention at all, that's allowed as well. This time is for you, okay? You can always come back if you want to check something or see if you want to learn it just a little bit more. You can always come back. There's nothing you have to do. This is your time, okay? What is the game that we are going to look at today? What is the game? Well, this is a game where Judit had the black pieces, and she was already a big girl. She was 11 years old. So she was a big girl, right? And she had been playing chess for a long time. But do you know who she was playing against? She was playing against a grown-up, a grown man in a real chess tournament. And not only was she playing against a grown man, the man had a fancy title. He was a master player, a chess master. Ooh. Do you think that Judit was afraid when she sat down to play? No, because I was there. Exactly. And you don't have to fear anything as well when you play chess. Just always do your best. That's the only thing anyone can do. That's the only thing we can ever ask of anyone. So, what happened in the game? Oh, I know. Yes, because the master level player who had the white pieces wanted to do this and have the chess partners. And that is why they started out by playing this move. Right. And then Judit was sitting here with the black pieces, and she was listening very careful, as she always did and still does, to Pandora the Puffin. And she was thinking, okay, if my opponent wants to establish the partner pawns here in the center, then I should stop my opponent from doing that. And that is why she picked up the knight like this and put it right here. Because on this square, you can see the knight moves like this, 1, 2, and to the side. It attacks this square here. So if white tries to play this move, she can already come in and capture it. So that is very smart. That is why she started out with that. But then her opponent was a master player and was very smart and good at chess. So they knew they couldn't play this. Do you know what they played instead? They played this one out. Here. Can go 2 spaces, the pawn, 1, 2. And this is the next best thing. If you can't get these 2, then you can get these 2. Now, white was thinking they were very happy because they are fighting against Judit, trying to do this, put these 2 pawns out, and you can see this pawn attacks here, so we can't do this. And this pawn attacks here, so it's not so good either to do this. But then, what did Judit do? Sometimes, when you want to establish the partner pawns in the center, you have to first make room for it. Alright, so how did Judit try to make room for these two pawns to come here? She took this pawn here and pushed it 1, 2 squares. And you can see you could actually come in and capture this, but white was too smart to do that. That's not so good, because this pawn is very hard to protect, and you get away from the center. So it will be impossible after this to have the two pawns here. So they did not fall for the bait. They did not take the bait. And instead, white was thinking, okay, I will put out my knight, 1, 2, and to the side. That's how I will move with the knight. Why? Because 1, 2, and to the side, the knight here is protecting the pawn. So when Judit comes in, as she did, and captured this pawn here, the knight can recapture. Like so. So why did Judit do that? I know. Yeah, we know that you know. You're such a good friend of Judit. You're such a good chess friend to have. Because Pandora the Puffin is always helping us remember that we want to get the two pawns to the center. That is what she helps us remember. With this knight here, Judit can go 1, 2, and both get one of the pawns where she wants it, but also attacking this knight. So the knight will have to move again. And the knight goes 1, 2, and to the side here. So it has been a long journey for the knight. Jump, jump, jump. And where is the knight going? Why is it going all the way over there? Well, there is a square that is not so much protected in Judit's camp. You can see this queen here can come in all the way here, protecting all these squares. And here, if white could move again, he would very much like to go 1, 2, and to the side, which would check the king. You can see this knight could capture the king. Can you see that? Dum, dum, dum. That would be check. And either you move the king, which is very bad, or you come in and capture the knight. But the problem, of course, is the queen is protecting it. And here comes Plato the Panda and saying, look at the dark squares around the king. When you lose the dark squared bishop, do you know why that's a problem? It's a problem because the dark squares around the king are getting very weak, and now white can attack on those squares. We are attacking the pawn, the king cannot castle. This is a problem. That is right. So we don't want to allow this. Judit did not want to allow this. And do you think that Judit allowed this? No. No. She didn't, and she had a little help from Pandora the Puffin, who always helps us remember that it's good to get these two pawns out. And that is what Judit played. And this is really nice. Okay, let's take a look at it. I know it's complicated, I know, yeah. But I will explain everything. And if you don't get it, it's fine, it's perfect. You're not supposed to get it the first time. You You can just come back tomorrow or in a week and watch it again if you want to. And if you don't want to get it ever, that's also fine. Everything's fine here. This is all for you, okay? Yeah, but I will explain. Okay. When this pawn moves, the queen can now see this square. And the bishop can see this square. But which piece can no longer see that square that could see the square before? That's right, the queen. So it cannot protect here anymore. So if the knight comes in here, but we just capture, no problem at all. So what did the master player, the grown-up player, what did he do? Well, he was thinking, this is too good. I know that there is this Pandora the Puffin that always is saying that these 2 pawns, oh, they're so good, so I cannot allow Judit to keep those pawns. And what did he do? Well, he didn't capture like this with the queen, because then he would lose the queen to the knight. The queen is too good. But you could capture, and he did so, with the pawn. And I am almost sure that I know what he was thinking. He was thinking that Judit captured one of his pawns in the center and he recaptured with his knight. Can you remember this knight here? Was here and it captured here. And now he was thinking that Judit is going to capture with this knight. But here we have Octavia the Octopus. And she came in with a little bit of advice saying, well, actually, that pawn is a target. We are attacking it 2 times, once with the knight and once with the queen. And it's only protected once. And it's hard to protect that. It's hard to protect that pawn because you cannot protect it with this pawn. Can you see why? That's right, because we could capture that pawn with the knight. So we control that square as black. And then Octavia the Octopus used one of her arms to tap the dark squared bishop on the shoulder and saying we can take our time now to get our pieces out. Like so. And then we are still thinking about coming in and capturing this pawn. And now we have 2 pieces in play. And that makes Octavia happy because white has only 1 piece in play. So this is good for black. This is nice. And if Judit could come in also and capture this piece, this pawn here, she would just be cruising. But no, that's master level player that Judit was playing was a really strong chess player and was not going to allow her to also capture this pawn. So, and here's a trick question that I don't think that you can figure out. What piece did the master player use to defend the pawn? It's not this one, this pawn. We can just come and capture it. And if I say it's the knight, I still think that you will get it wrong. Because if I was playing with the white pieces here, I would take this knight. And protect it like that. But there is a problem with that. And that is the other knight here doesn't have any good squares to go now. Here can be captured by the queen. Here can be captured by the queen or the bishop. Here can be captured by the rook. here can be captured by the pawn or the bishop. The only place really is here, but it can still be captured by the bishop, and it's out of play here. So if you actually come in and put the knight out like this, you think, oh, it's so good because I get the pieces out. But Judit could just play this move. Oh. Now you would have to go here. Judit could attack here, threaten a fork of these two here, and she would, this is not the kind of position that you want to ever give Judit Polgar. Because once she started attacking, she did not look back. And that is why the very, very clever master level player here, do you know what he did? He used the other knight and went back. So now this is protected. So why did Judit do this? Now you can see here, Judit has lost 2 pawns and she has only won 1 pawn. So why would she do that? That is because she has a good friend, Octavia the Octopus. And Octavia the Octopus can come in here. This is something she loves to go. Duk, duk, duk. And, that would be this one for the king. And duk, 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 duk. Because already you can move 2 pieces on the back rank in 1 move, and that is maybe Octavia's favorite thing, because she wants to, talk everybody on the shoulder, just say, get out from the back rank or move from where you start, and here we can castle. If you don't know precisely the rules of castling, it doesn't matter, it's okay. I can tell you what it looks like. It looks like this. 1, 2 with the king. Normally you can only move 1, but when you castle you can move 2. And then the rook goes on the other side. Wow, isn't that cool? Do you know why they call it a castle? Do you know why? It's because a good king must be safe. And where is a king the most safe? Inside a castle. And the castle has a wall of pawns here to protect the king. You cannot just come in and attack the king. And there is a big tower at the side of the castle, and there is a knight protecting the castle as well. And it's very hard to attack this king. So you can see that even though white has only lost a pawn and Judit has lost 2 pawns, you can see how many moves ahead, how many more moves Judit has really played on the board, because this knight has just been moving so many times. 1, 2, 3, and 4 times with the same piece. Judit is not doing that. Judit is always putting new pieces in play because she has a friend, and that is Octavia the Octopus. Now we have to take a look at what white wants to do here. White can see, Judit is building up for an attack. They say when she did attack, even when she was 11 years old, she attacked like a thunderstorm, like lightning from a clear sky. And if your king hasn't castled, that can be really scary when you are facing Judit. So what did white do? White wanted to castle the king. But you can't castle the king when there are pieces in the way. So white wanted to get this piece out of the way. And he had a plan how to do it. He had a plan. He thought it was a really good plan. He played this pawn forward. What does that do? Where do you think he wants to put the bishop? Yes. Of course not here, where we can be captured by this one, but here. And now he can castle. The bishop can also protect the king and it can protect the pawn here. That our strong pawn that we really, as white, hope we can use to win the game. But do you know what Judit did already? She started attacking. And that is because... Hello, Deborah. Yes. When you can see that you have so many pieces in the game and your opponent has not castled and does not have control of the board, just attack. Be brave. Be courageous. Yes. And Judit always listened to the advice of Deborah the dragon. Both because it's good advice, but do you know what it also is? It's fun. It's also what I do, and sometimes I even attack when I shouldn't in chess because it's fun. And what is a good square to attack for black? Where can we look at? You can see this guy here, only protected by the king. No other pieces protecting here. And we are attacking it once. How can we attack it again? How can we attack it again? Exactly. We take the knight, 1, 2, and to the side, and we are looking at this square. Yay! Let's attack that square as many times as we can. Yes. And now, of course, it's going to be devastating if Judit is allowed, for instance, to come in and capture with check here. That is just, you're not going to survive that, not against Judit Polgar. So there is a way to defend it, and that is to just play this pawn 1 forward here. And now the bishop cannot see this pawn anymore. But how can we attack from here? Well, surprisingly, it is I, Pandora, Plato the Panda, that will have the crucial advice in this position. Oh, so what is it? Let me tell you, and let me tell you. So, this guy is attacking this square, and this active piece here is the dark squared bishop, and this is a dark square, and this is attacking the dark squares. So let's say that we focus on the dark squares for the first wave of the attack. And what is the piece that can the quickest get to this dark square? Well, I know the answer, but I think it's the wrong one, because I would say that the queen could come here, that would attack it, and that would be the fastest. Right, but listen to what Octavia says. Okay, I'll put it back in. What are you saying about that, Octavia? What I'm saying about that is that when I go and tap all the pieces on the shoulder, the queen is almost always the last one that I tap. If I can get her as one of the last pieces, that's what I'm going to do. Because I want her to support the attack. I don't want her to be the first wave of the attack. Okay, so the next piece, that would be this rook here. And the smart thing about this rook is that it's already on the right file. You can see it actually is already looking at here. But there's something in the way. What is that? The pawn. So Judit took the pawn, 1, 2, and pushed it forwards like this. And Judit wants to come here on the dark squares, because that is what Plato the Panda is saying, that there's weaknesses on the dark squares here. There are targets also on the dark squares. All of this stuff here and the king is all on the dark squares. So you want to come in and attack on the dark squares. And white wants to castle, you remember? So they had this plan of going here with the bishop. But already Judit has no fear. None fear at all. And she goes, push this pawn here. And now there's a problem. Now if you do castle here, it's not so good anymore. It's not so good because we are too strong on the dark squares. So if we capture here, and for instance here, Judit can come in and capture here, and here, and at the end of all of this, the dark squares have no more defenders. This knight comes in, and there is a huge problem for white, because I am looking at the majesty, and I am looking at the rook. Look at that rook. And you would have to move the queen, and then the rook falls. So I know I know you're just a little one, and I know that's maybe a lot to look at, but you don't have to remember it, okay? There's just a magic thing that if you listen to this enough times, it just might seep into your brain, even if you're not paying attention. Yeah, you laugh, but I've seen that happen many times. So, that is why we can't castle here, because you're too weak on the dark squares. And now, the grown-up master player was getting a little annoyed with Judit's pieces attacking the king so much, and even when he thought he was ready to castle, he could actually see that that was too dangerous to castle. So he said to the knight, "You must go away. You must go away. This knight must go away." So he pushed this pawn. This is called kicking the knight, because it's saying I can come in and capture. So you will have to go back, not attack these two dark squares so much, and then we can castle and everything will be fine for white. But here is the reason that Deborah is a big part of this game. I'm going to spray my fire on the board. But we always respect fire safety, of course. It's metaphorical fire. You can't say metaphorical fire. They're 5 years old. They don't know what metaphorical fire is. Okay. I'm going to spray some attacking fairy dust. What is that? We're going to attack. Okay. That's sometimes, little one, sorry. Sometimes Deborah the dragon gets a little excited. The point here is that Judit listened to Deborah the dragon and said, "Oh, I am attacking. I'm not going to be afraid of this move threatening the knight. No, I'm not going to be afraid of that. No. I am going to look at the king and get all the pieces to attack the king. And I will come in and capture a piece, or actually a pawn, with the knight. Can you guess which one? This one. Why? Because this forces white to act. Because if they don't do something, we can come in either capture the queen or even the rook. So the king will have to capture the knight. And now Judit could be afraid, but she's not, because she knows Deborah. She could be afraid because she lost her whole knight. Knights are good. It's not good to be down a knight, as we would say in chess. But Now the king cannot castle. The king cannot get to safety. And we can get all the pieces out, just attacking the king with a wonderful barrage. Yes. I don't know what that means either. So Judit took this pawn. She did something really cool here. She captured here. And that's not just check. That is double check. Do you know why? Right, because it's check from the pawn, but also from the rook. The rook is also attacking the king. And the king doesn't have many places to go. If the king, for instance, goes here, the rook already can come with a check. We're on the dark squares. We are listening to Plato the Panda. We are controlling the dark squares. We have identified that the dark squares, identified, that just means we had found out that the dark squares is where we want to attack. It's protected by the pawn. The king will have to move again, then we can capture the bishop. So the king has to go all the way back here. And we can still come in with the rook attacking the bishop. And look at this. Oh, this looks tough for white. Of course, white did get that knight. That is what happened. But the king cannot castle, not even though it came back to its original square, still cannot castle. Never can it castle after it has moved. And like all these pieces, they're not doing anything. And maybe you could say that these pieces are also not doing anything, but that's not true. They are ready to come in and attack. First, white has to figure out what to do about the attack on this bishop. So he slid the rook over, protecting the bishop. And now came in here and said, it's time for you to join the game. And you can do so on the dark squares. The queen moved here. Now it's working together with the rook. So even if this goes and this goes, the rook is still protected. This is very strong. It is also protecting here. So now the dark squares, many of the dark squares, are really under Judit's control. So how can you even move now if you are white? This guy doesn't have many good places to go. This guy has to stay here and protect. The king is not allowed to go anywhere. This is check, this is check, this is check, this is check. The bishop cannot come in here because it's protected by here. It cannot go here, it's protected here. Can you see all of this? This knight cannot come here because there's already a knight there. The rook can't move. It's actually very hard to figure out how to move with white. And why is it? Because white didn't listen to Octavia the Octopus. You can see all these pieces are still here on the back rank, and they're just being pushed back. So if we want to invite all of our friends to the party, and that's what Judit did. All the friends got tucked on the shoulder and say, come to the party. The party is here, attacking the king. It's a hunting party. And the whole problem for white is mostly this pawn. If maybe we could get rid of this pawn, maybe we could start getting the pieces in play. So white played the queen out here, because now the queen is helping the bishop. The bishop could come in, bishop would capture, and then we could capture with the queen. But Judit is friends with Octavia the Octopus. And Octavia the Octopus is talking everybody on the shoulder, saying, now we can attack. We have time now, because white has to waste so much time to untangle so we can get the pieces in play. And the first one is the knight. And the knight, of course, usually wants to go here. But the one advantage that white has is that this pawn is actually threatening this square. But Judit said, no problem, I will go here with this knight, because I want to go here, attacking the queen, and when the queen moves, I can come in here, and that's check to the king, and also looking at the rook. But that's only one idea Judit had. She also had a secret, hidden idea. Because white thought, that's no problem. I can just say, if you want to go here to attack everything, I can just protect that square so you can't go there. I can just put my pawn here. So if you come in here, I can just capture. It's not a problem. But still have all these pieces not doing anything. And Octavia the octopus is now talking this bishop on the shoulder. And the bishop comes in. Which here, protected by the rook, protected by the queen, and attacking this queen. And this queen had, do you know what? Can you remember what mission that queen had? Because if you can't, like the queen didn't go, for instance, here, because it had a mission. It was to help attack here. We cannot capture with the queen first, because it's defended by the bishop. We have to capture with the bishop first and then the queen. So we don't want to be chased away as white here. We don't want that. So that's why the master level player put the bishop in between. And Judit said, that is just absolutely fine. I will just capture that. Like so. Now white recaptured, and there is a new problem now for white, because this bishop here was on the light squares, and Judit had already listened to Plato the Panda, saying that we should attack the dark squares, right? But with the bishop here gone, the light squares are also weak. So now we are attacking everything as black. That's how Judit played chess. That is how Judit played chess. And now she has a new idea. So she's thinking, okay, I want to use this knight. And I cannot go here. How about going here? That would be so good. I would attack the queen. I could come here. I could come here with a check. That would be so good. But there is a problem. I cannot go here. There's one of my own pieces there already. So she moved that piece, taking control of even more dark squares. Now this pawn is protected. We're attacking this knight. But white thought, finally she made a mistake. Yes, finally. That's what the master player was thinking. Because, and he was maybe also thinking, she's just 11 years old. She can't keep on playing so well. Like she will have to make a mistake at some point. Do you think this was a mistake? Let me show you what white played. White was thinking, haha, now I have time. I can come in and capture this. Yes. Because it's protected by the queen. So when Judit comes in and captures here, I can capture. And I will have no more problems. But Judit didn't capture the bishop. She was just saying, no, I'm inviting all my friends to the party. The hunting party. So she was with the knight. Isn't that smart? Now there's not really time to do something here because we're attacking the queen now. And actually, white is in so much trouble now. there's only one of black's pieces that is not part of the party. And that's the rook. And once Judit gets the rook in, it's going to be very, very tough. If you move the queen to try to save the queen, well, we can just capture the bishop, for instance, or we could come in with this check here, and it's devastating. That means it's very bad. That means it's very bad. And then they thought, okay, I'll know what to do. I have won so many pieces and pawns, and I have more pieces and pawns on the board, so I can give something back to repel the attack. So White thought, I will come in and I will take the bishop. So Judit can come in and capture the queen, but then I can move this. Then I can maybe capture the knight back. I will get 2 pieces for the queen, or maybe I can come in and capture this rook. Once Judit captures the queen. That was Deborah the dragon, just making her presence, felt, and also was Octavia the octopus. Why did they come? Well, they came. First, Deborah came because she said, we are going for the king. We are not going to be afraid. We are not going to be afraid to be down pieces. We are just going to attack, 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 attack. Because it's fun, and also because it's the best thing to do in this position. And Octavia the octopus was there to remind us that she is also tucking this guy on the sleeve. Also, that's the guy who needs to get in the game. So Judit combined the courage and the wisdom of getting all the pieces to the party, and she captured the bishop. Wow, isn't that a move and a half? So this is so good. The knight is still attacking the queen, and this pawn is attacking this knight. So the queen will have to come in and capture this pawn. Right. And you cannot get out of it like with going here for a check, because the knight is protecting this. You would have thought of everything. So queen captured here. But now Octavia is happy because the last piece can come in the game. With a check to the king, also making Deborah the dragon happy. And the only thing you can do if you don't want to move the king is to like put a queen in between, and then would just be captured and you would just leave the queen for no reason. So the king has to go here. Now, there is another check. There's another check. Can you find the next check? It's on a light square because we were able to get rid of this light squared bishop after we first controlled the dark squares. Then we controlled the light squares as well, controlling everything. Yes. Yep, exactly. Check. Check like this. And it doesn't, you cannot really block with this knight. We just capture it with check. And checkmate next move, actually. So the king will have to move again. And now, it's a little exercise for you. There's a checkmate here. Can you find the last move of the game? Yeah. Well done. Yeah. And can you explain why? Right. Right. So the king, where can the king go? Here? No. Here? Here? No, no. So we just need to put another piece, not one of these two, into the game with a check against the king. And this one is exactly that. And that is checkmate. And look at this, like this is the best knight ever. It's attacking unprotected rook, it's attacking unprotected queen, and it's attacking the king. This is actually known as a family fork, but do you know what it also is? It's a checkmate family fork. But of course we're always good friends, even though Judit can be very proud and maybe White was a little sad that they lost. They can still be good friends and shake hands, because chess is a game where no matter win or lose, we are here to have fun, and we are here to learn, and we're here to have a good time. And I hope that you had a good time here. I love our little sessions, and you are of course welcome to come back anytime, and you can see this as many times. I will always be here saying all the same things every time you want me to, and I will also have new ones for you in the future. Thank you so much for being here. I hope I will see you again soon.